Did you watch the Super Bowl? No, I'm not talking about the halftime show, but did you see the commercials? Now, a long time ago, the commercials were everything. And then there was this one commercial with Matthew Broderick. You know, the one playing off the idea of working harder, running faster, and still feeling stuck in the same loop? And the entire time I was watching it, I kept thinking, this is exactly what people are exhausted by. And that commercial, yeah, it didn't just feel nostalgic. It felt like a mirror. Work more, do more, be more efficient, and somehow still never stop. And then GenSpark AI shows up, positioned like the solution. Not to hustle harder, but to stop working so hard in the first place. And to let the systems do the busy work while you actually think, create, and live. And the moment I saw that, I knew I had to look into the solution for us. And the new excuse for corporate America companies to continue their reorgs. We all know how it goes. Well, either way, welcome back to GBRLIFE Reviews, where I test the tools, platforms, and systems so you don't waste your time or your money. Or your energy, but, just mine. So let's keep this review going by getting straight into it right after my quick intro while you like and subscribe, or just skip ahead using the chapters. Helps out the channel if you just like and subscribe. And if you don't like it and you don't subscribe, I'm not judging you. And here's that intro.
Welcome to GBRLIFE. We'll talk big love, everything in the mix. So bring your bold, your bright, your home now, babe. This is GBRLIFE. Ooh, this is GBRLIFE.
GenSpark isn't just another chatbot. It's what they call an AI super agent. Basically, it's a system that can take a simple prompt and execute an entire workflow, or research, writing, slide decks, spreadsheets, you kind of name it. It's going to have multiple specialized AI models working together instead of just one model answering your question. So imagine telling one AI, research the latest trends for organic skincare products and build a pitch deck. Oh, and get a structured report plus slides without having to toggle between tools. Well, that's their promise. And the key features of what it can do, it's, again, a super agent that does research, deep autonomous research pulled from multiple sources, and AI docs and content creation. And it can write full articles, proposals, documents. It has AI sheets. Think, Excel, which is what pretty much most of us use in the corporate America world, plus insights. You also have your AI slides, which generates presentations and decks from a single prompt, plus AI developer tools. It builds websites, apps, or games with no code. And then you have the AI images and media, which creates visuals and videos. Of course, it is images and media, but there's something else here. They also have automated meeting notes and calls. Yes, calls, which doesn't sound great when it comes to spam, but great when it comes to certain other types of jobs that maybe they'll be taking. I don't know. Either way, it does sound like a productivity dream, right? But before we hype it up too much, let's actually go look at GenSpark and let's see what all of this hype is actually all about. Well, it really wasn't a hype. It was just a commercial, but now it's going to be hype officially. Let's take a look. Here we are inside of GenSpark. Now, how did I get here? I went to Google and I typed in GenSpark, and then I clicked on the website. That was it. It's not complicated. But what is complicated is knowing where to start. Just to be clear, for anybody who's new watching this for the first time, I always go pros, then I go cons, and then we talk pricing. So pros first. I like that it has everything right in front of you, technically, of what it can kind of do right here, right when you get onto it. Plus, it also tells you, hey, we support personalized tools. Like, look at all this Google with your sheets and your calendar and your inbox and all of that fun stuff. I'm, yes, absolutely a fan here. And then you can do a custom agent, AI slides, the sheets, pretty much everything I mentioned in the intro. You didn't listen to the intro. What? Well, let me show you. Right here are those agents. And this is basically what I was talking about in the introduction. You have the opportunity to use all of these tools. I know, it's a lot. Audio, music, deep research. I didn't even talk about the audio or music. No, I did talk about audio, but not music. And I also mentioned meeting notes, translation, although I will say that Google in general, you could probably do translation. But moral of the story here is with all of these things, you have that super chat option where you can do, your manual searching and synthesizing and, give you some structured results instead of just basic chat replies, because that's what deep research really is. And then you have your business workflows with, business owners and marketers and creators who would be able to automate routine content and documented tasks. Plus, there is the opportunity to do this all for free. And we will get into pricing, but like I said, we'll go into those cons first before anything else. But before we even do that, let's take a look at some of this over here. So you've got these super agents, right? And then we're on the home page. You also have your inbox where you can add your email account and have this work through your email. You have your hub, which is basically your projects. If you're thinking ChatGPT or something like that, this is your projects. And then you have your AI drive. And I probably won't be doing that, but this is what you would be adding in pretty much all of your files and stuff. You can add it to the actual, website, and then use it directly from there, which is quite nice. I'm not going to lie. And then you can, it's nice, but it's also a little bit much. I don't know how well you can trust this yet because this is so new in my space, at least. I don't know how long this has been out, and I don't necessarily just want to go ahead and start adding a whole bunch of my documents and allowing it onto my computer in that way. But like I said, you can do that custom agent and create your own AI tool, your own little helper. And you can also go in here and find others that others have made, including GenSpark. But here's all the rest of the agents with writing, productivity. I love it when it's taking forever to get to the next thing. Your research and analysis, your education, lifestyle, and God magic. God, I need your magic. Let's make things happen. I don't know what things, but I know. I'll take $111 million, please. Thank you. And then there's others. Oh, did you see that social media pro? Look at that. Where was that? Oh, I missed it. I don't know where it was. Education? It's not really education. And let's be real, guys. It's not education. But look at all of this. Assistant client e-tech business. Yeah, I mean, it's got plenty when you're going into the custom agent side. But if you go back to the home, and I want to show you things like, okay, it's not showing it on the home, but I already have it up. But the calls, I can do those calls for you. Now, I wouldn't necessarily just rely on this like it's going to be amazing and do everything you can possibly want to need, but it does have a lot of options. Like, look at this. Call for me. Book a table at luncheon? Is that what it says? I need glasses, but I don't wear them, so don't judge me in my inability to read small print right in front of my face. I'm getting older and I don't want to admit it. For next Wednesday's birthday celebration. So it's saying it's going to be able to do that for you. Or check if Buster Pro Tennis has, those are Yonex 2025 E-Zone tennis racket in stock. What is that? Do you play tennis? Tell me all about that below. And then tell me how you handle tennis, because I hated it. I did it when I was a child and I hated every minute of it. I was like, this is so boring. It's so boring. For all you tennis players out there, I'm sure it's not boring. I'm sure it's amazing. For me, though, no thank you. Also can do fact checking. Coca-Cola cut ties with Taylor Swift over her political endorsement. Let's fact check that. I'm just going to click on it and see what it does. Did it do that? Start replay? I don't know. Oh, it's doing it. Okay. It's looking into it. It's finding out. It's giving us our answer. And it's taking a little bit longer than I thought it was going to take. But I do think this is pretty cool that it's really going through that. You know what? In today's world, with all of the information out there, I think this is kind of fantastic that you have the ability to really fact check some things. So, even an appendix? What? Wow, this is a lot of information just to find out whether or not it's a yes or a no. I think it would be kind of cool if it just said yes or no and then gave you all of this information. That's just me, though. I prefer that kind of information. But there you go. That's a lot of information right in front of you telling you whether or not that's good. Okay, then we also have image. And it's saying that you need to be a Pro or Plus user, and you get unlimited zero-cost credits. I'll go into the tiers in just a moment. But AI image, yeah, because usually you get an opportunity to do at least once or twice. You get lots of different options of who you want to generate the image with. Yes, of course, Nano Banana Pro is everybody's big thing right now. Your styles, okay. And look at some of these already generated images. Look at that. It's nice. It's not the clearest, and it's saying that it's Nano Banana Pro. So, okay, I like it. I don't love the quality, though, that's coming from this, because I feel like if you go directly to this tool, it is going to give you probably a better result than what it's giving you right there. All right, let's go back to that. Let's look at AI docs. Okay, look at this. And it can help you with your resume or with, let me see what else it has over here. A lot of resumes, public speaking, invitation for a summit. I think that's what those are. I've never actually gone to one of those. But if you have one and it's really cool, let us all know in the description below. Also, look at this, newsletters. What this is reminding me of overall is Canva. It's like an AI Canva mixed with, because Canva already has AI, but it's like more AI, starting with your AI side of things with Canva, and then moving it into ChatGPT mixed with a little bit of Adobe as I'm hitting the microphone. Hopefully that wasn't loud. I can't hear it until after when I edit this wonderful video that you all get to see. Okay, so these are the slide options. These are just the templates. And of course, remember, you can actually ask it to create things. The only reason I'm not is because it uses credits. And again, we will get into pricing in just a moment. Let's look at that AI music, because I think that's a big thing that people are very interested in these days. Create original music, songs, instrumental tracks. Okay, so you just basically say, hey, create a slow but happy song like Bruno Mars. I don't know. I'm blanking right now. Do not judge me. I like all music. Truly, all music. So anything out there that you absolutely love and you want to tell me to go listen to that isn't something that is like some sort of a trick, go ahead and tell me about that in the comments below. I would love to listen to different types of music. The creator I was listening to or watching her videos, and she's South African, and she was talking about how great South African music is. So I was like, oh, what are some bands from South Africa? And so I went and listened to some of them, and I thought it was really awesome. So I really just like listening to everything. And this is really cool because if I were to be very interested in something and I wanted to kind of make my own version of it, look, I can come over here and I can do that. Or not, maybe too, because then that would be creating AI. We support artists here, not just anybody. And we've got AI video. Let's select that. Okay, same thing. So you would be using the different options and video creator generators in order to create it. Again, this is going to be using those credits though. So you have to consider what you're doing before you start doing it. And since we already did one prompt, you can see that it's fast, but it's not the fastest. And your deep research, downloads, fact check, we already talked about that, meeting notes. I think this is something that a lot of people would use. You would use your calendar. Okay, so this seems like you would actually go into your meeting probably with you, or you would import maybe a transcript and then it would turn it into notes. This is fantastic when you are sending out those meetings afterwards and giving those meeting notes to everybody so that they can see what went on and who said something that was ridiculously silly and it shouldn't have been said to begin with. So don't say silly things in your meetings because you're going to get in trouble and HR is going to know about it. So, because Teams is like connected to everything. And so is Google. Think about it. It's all connected. Everyone's going to find out. So if somebody's on the phone with you and you're in one of those situations, make sure that that recording is off, right? Just make sure so you can save yourself CYA, as they say. I like to rhyme. All right, so what are the cons here? Because we're looking at all these wonderful things. Well, in my eyes, there's actually quite a lot. But I'll say this. I think that by looking at the reviews that people had on all of this, like when they're actually going in and utilizing all of this, it's a lot of mixed reviews. Basically, they're saying a lot of bill issues when they are dealing with any sort of reporting of those billing issues. They're not getting great customer service with it, and a lot of credit drains. And now you noticed with all of this, I went through quite a lot of things, selecting this or going into, your all-in-one, and you do see something about your pricing right here, but there's not a whole lot about pricing in front of you. And I don't like that. Where's the pricing so we have a better idea of what we're doing, or your credits, in order to know how many credits you even used? And then the quality. You already saw the quality for the photos, but let me go back over to it. I just need, right here, AI, image. And okay, if anybody has used Nano Banana Pro, or just Nano Banana at all, you know how good that quality is. And this is good, but this is almost looking like 1080p when it's already capable of giving you that 4K. That's what this looks like. In front of me on the screen, I feel like I'm looking at 1080p, not your 4K. Whereas if I go to this directly, if I go to Nano Banana Pro, I'm going to get that 4K because I'm paying for it too. And then here's the thing about that too. If I'm going here and this quality isn't as great, or let me go over to those slides again. Okay, these are good slides. Absolutely. If I go into apply, use this template, and I'm going to say, I want this presentation to be about apples. I like apples. Who doesn't like apples? People who are allergic to apples don't like apples. But apple a day keeps the doctor away. That's what I want to say in this while it's thinking and doing things. But I want this to give me some major information and good options for this, because I can go over to Canva right now and create this exact same thing. So if it's already going to be all credit based and use up credits just because I'm utilizing this one tool in this one situation and I'm paying a lot of money for it to happen, what would make me want to use this over going to Canva? That's what I'm trying to say. So, I mean, it's still going, and I'm going to say that utilizing other tools, it's a little bit faster. But other tools don't necessarily give me this breakdown. They don't necessarily give me a great outline. And sometimes I have to go over from, say, ChatGPT or not Claude. Claude's pretty great at what it does. It'll just give it to you immediately right on the side and then tell you all the code it used to do that. But something like this, or we'll say ChatGPT. If you do this in ChatGPT, it'll give you this entire outline and it'll say, okay, go bring that over to Canva, and it'll make it really cool. And you're like, well, wait, but then I have to still make it? So that's not nice. By the way, popular apple varieties that we're seeing in front of us, Honeycrisp? Yes, please. But they didn't talk about Cosmic. If you would like an apple for dinner, but it basically tastes like candy, go for that Cosmic apple. They're so good, but it is like candy. So my husband hates it because he's like, it's candy. Why am I eating candy? I'm trying to eat an apple. And I understand that. Like those grapes that taste like cotton candy, but I am allergic to grapes, so I can't actually eat those. But I've heard that they're amazing. Yeah, the apples are amazing. So instead, we go over to the apple and we eat the Cosmic apples because it allows us to have that candy instead of the cotton candy grapes that some of us named Caitlin are allergic to. But he can eat all the apples and all of the grapes, and he chooses not to because he doesn't want to have candy when he's eating fruit. Isn't that the whole point? You're eating candy. You're eating fruit in order to replace the candy. And I'm still talking about all of this while going on this whole rant about apples, and it's still not done with the apples. I'm getting tired waiting for this. So this is a con. I will say, looking at this very first slide, I do like the way it came together. It's very pretty. It created that, remember, in the background, or it took it from somewhere, which can be a bad thing too. Like, even if it's free, I mean, are they crediting somebody if they didn't make it themselves? But it's cool that they're showing you the code. Let's see. We've got the second table. Okay, popular varieties, nutrition and health, history and facts. I feel like history and facts should be first, and then popular varieties, and then nutrition and health, but it's fine. We can go along with that. Here's your popular varieties. And okay, why is there no image that came up over here? Not a fan. Nutrition and health. Okay. No images are coming up. So you can see, like, it's good, but the quality and consistency here isn't top tier. It's good, but it's not great so far. Let's keep this going. And you know what? Let's add in some good music while we wait for this to finish. Okay, so it looks like it may have completed, and let's go ahead and play the slides. Amazing apple. Table of contents. With no picture. Popular apple varieties. That's definitely lots of different apple varieties when you're talking about specifically the Pink Lady. And then you've got your Fuji and your Granny Smith. Definitely your Granny Smith. I'm questioning this one. Nutrition and health. And then your history and facts. Okay. So, I mean, it gave it to us. That's cool. It didn't finish though, and I guess you can add more to it. And so this is a situation that, okay, I'd have to export this. I would have to. And it looks like you can't unless you upgrade. So that's annoying. I guess you could use this on your computer for the moment and have this generated if you're not using anything but the free option. I think Sheets actually would be really good for you to also see, because I saw that in the commercial in case anybody's interested. You can put information right here on your Sheets and utilize that in that way. Apple varieties. And then see what it does. And it's still taking quite a bit of time just to create anything. You know, it's going through a lot, and I think that's good, but at the same time, there are other tools that are using, well, they're gathering information much faster and adding it. On the other hand, again, they're not necessarily putting it directly into the format that you're looking for.
Meanwhile.
And it's still going. Okay, finally finished. So now we have a whole bunch of varieties. Do they have cosmic? They do not. That's okay. But I do like that it kind of went into pretty much everything you'd actually need to know about an apple in order to make a decision about an apple. Let's see how far it went. Okay, so not too far, but that's a good amount of columns and a good amount of information to provide that. All I said was apple varieties, and it gave all of this information. So it's both good and a little basic at the same time. But again, I didn't give it any information. So it's like, hey, what else do you want me to add or modify? It's saying I can add a sweetness rating scale or nutritional information or create charts comparing different characteristics. So it's ready and willing to do more, but you kind of have to guide it there. So it's ready and willing to basically do pretty much anything you want it to do, but it sounds like, or seems like from this, you kind of have to guide it there. All right, let's talk pricing. And here we have the wonderful thing that you knew that you didn't want to find out about this entire time. Yep, it's the pricing. So you've got your free plan, which is exactly what I'm using. You've got Plus and you've got Pro. But this price right here, all of that information, yeah, that's the annual. That's saving you $600. That's really great to pay $240 a year for your Plus. Or, okay. Do I need to say it? I'll say it. Okay, your Pro, billed annually. I do have to take a second for that one. It's $2,000 $400 billed annually. Now, obviously, you're going to get all the bells and whistles for that. You better, GenSpark, because what? Wow. But if you go monthly, okay, it is $25 a month for Plus, or it is $250 billed monthly. Are you serious? Okay, but over here, you're going to get 10,000 credits a month or 125,000 credits a month. You better. But you know what? In my eyes, if you're spending this much money a month, that should be all free. Everything's free. Do what you want. Enjoy your life. Because what? You have credit limits? You're paying thousands of dollars. Or you can get free and get 100 free credits a day. 100. Or you can have 1 gigabyte of storage with AI Drive, but you do have limited access to AI models and agents. We've already seen that. Plus, it was already telling you like, hey, you can look at it, but you can't download that because we made it. It's ours. And that's the other thing with things like this. A lot of times, if you're doing free things, you may not own stuff. You may find a way to download something or whatever, but you may not own it. They own it unless you're paying for it. And that's what they do when you go over here for things like Plus and Pro. You have unlimited with those images and things like that, but you do have those credits. And the credits, it starts over here, like when you're using those agents, which is the whole reason we're using this, right? Because if you're doing different things with like ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini, I mean, you're able to already probably get some images and chat in general and get a lot of information and go over to Canva and utilize that and get a whole bunch of other things as well. So really, we're already using this for one main reason. It's what they talked about in the commercials and what I'm showing you in front of you right now, which is the cost of using those agents. And for your free plan, you get basically a day for one a day. For Plus, you get 50 a month. This is credits and or interactions, I guess is what it's saying, but really it's credits. Like, let's be for real. And then your Pro, it is $625 a month. And the reason I'm saying let's be for real, it's credits because it's going to be based off of those credits. So if you're only getting to use it once, one time using it is the amount of credits it takes to utilize that. And that goes for everything for the most part. Your image generation is saying up to 12 times a day, 400 a month. And I love how they go from day to month because they're like, no, but look how much you can actually use this. Look how great. 100. No, that says 1,111 a month for using that specific type of image generation or that model. And let's see what else. That's pretty much it. So yeah, it's credits for your super agents, for your deep research, data search, and fact checking. You're really limited for your free. For Plus, you get a little bit more. For Pro, you get a good amount more. But this should be, I'm just, GenSpark, if you were watching this right now, consider Pro for, if we're talking about that much money a year, or even more, if we're doing that a month, maybe make that free. Just saying, just a suggestion, GenSpark, just a suggestion. And business solutions, okay, it's $30 between 2 to 150. So, but we're starting at 5. Can we go to 2? Okay, we can go to 2. So it's $60 a month for your team. Okay, it's quite expensive, and I feel like in these situations, utilize what you want to based off of what actually works for you. But the real question here isn't if it's super costly, is it worth it? Because if it's super costly, but it's worth it and it makes your life a whole lot easier, I mean, you could maybe budget that out, right? Or not. But either way, it is worth exploring just to go see what it can do for sure. Is this worth it to see? Yeah, go check it out. Go look at that. Everybody, just go see what it can do. See what could potentially cause another reorg in your company or in general, but definitely buyer beware, because you got to see what, if you're spending that much money, I would say absolutely check out that free tier first to see whether or not this is worth it for you. And because of the fact that people have talked about the billing quirks and the not so great customer service, always back up your work, keep all of your receipts, and make sure that, again, what you're seeing on the free is worth your time and what you're looking for this to actually use. Go into it, maybe even for a month, and utilize it exactly as you really need. Go really deep into this and see what you actually need and see if it's going to do that for you. If it's going to take away that time and essentially make paying that type of money worth your time and energy, because you're going to be looking for another job in order to use it unless you're paying for it doing your own business and it's making other things. I don't know. This is definitely showing where AI is going, and that's honestly one of the reasons in my world I decided to go look into it. I needed to see where AI was going and what it's able to do with the new tools, and, not necessarily jump straight into this and pay for it for continued use, but see where we're going with AI. And hopefully you get to see where it's going with that too. It's getting there. It's showing that it's capable of doing a lot of things without a lot of effort on the human part, but it's very slow. It's not the best quality. It's definitely not as consistent with it, but it is pretty good in its output in what it's providing you with very little information. It can do deep dives and it can create things completely for you without having to utilize other tools for the most part. And I'm going to assume when you're paying for it, you're going to get way better results as well. So now I want to hear from you. Are you curious about AI leveling up your productivity? And are you going to go ahead and try out GenSpark? Let us know if it works for you and how it works for your workflow if you decide to use it. Or are you at the point of ditching all of AI altogether and just going back to books and paper and a world that wasn't this? Well, drop your thoughts below. But that is it for this week's GBRLIFE review. But if you can keep this party going, I'm more than willing to meet you halfway by giving you a companion blog on GBRLIFE.com. The link is in the description and in the comments. And if you want more honest, no fluff breakdowns, check out GBRLIFE Reviews playlist. There you will also find my latest review that was on Google Keep. Is the free tool already everything that you need for digital notes and lists? We'll find out when you watch that one next. And remember, with everything on GBRLIFE.com and my fabulous Mama Koala clothing line, you don't have to be without GBRLIFE in your life. Now go watch another review or check out that companion blog, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!